If you're watching this video, you've probably already heard about Animation's amazing The Flipbook of the Rings Flipbook Reanimation project. I'm extremely proud to be one of the over 1,000 artists working on this project. We have all spent countless hours taking a clip from Lord of the Rings The Fellowship of the Ring and reanimating it as a flipbook in our own unique style. Here is my small contribution to this amazing project. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love Roald Dahl books. And one of the biggest reasons for that are the amazing illustrations by Quentin Blake. I mean, just look at these things. His illustration style that's sketchy and loose and yet so full of detail and life is just awesome. So today, I'm going to take inspiration from him and do my best to animate in his style. I'm using Animation's Flipbook kit along with his extra large Flipbook paper for this project. The first step was to download and print off all of the files for this project which Animation provided to all of the people who participated. I had to trim them to fit on the light pad, and I punched holes in some of them, though later I realized I didn't really have to do that, but that's alright. The first big thing that I had to tackle was doing some style frames. So I got out the pages and I did my best. That one did not work out, and neither did that one. But eventually I did feel like I had captured enough of the style to continue. I wish I had more time, but after some trial and error and some very ugly pictures, I did finally feel like I was getting somewhere. I'm not using the same type of pen that Quentin Blake would use, so I can't get the same line quality, and I was on a really tight timeline, so I couldn't spend too much time with this. I just did my best to try and not let the lines be too smooth, but to try and capture that sketchy, energetic feel that his illustrations have. I didn't quite get there, but I still think the inspiration comes through. And now it was time to go back and do every single frame, trying to use my style frames as a guide and keep the style consistent across the entire flipbook. And this was the result. Now I just had to go back and do all the backgrounds and all the coloring. I actually really enjoy this process. It's a little tedious sometimes, but it's so much fun to add in all those little details that really bring the flipbook to life. For coloring, I wanted to emulate the monotone watercolor shading that Quentin Blake uses in most of his illustrations, at least the black and white ones. So I tried to mix a nice shade of green that seemed like it represented the Fellowship of the Ring well, and I used a lot of isopropyl alcohol mixed with water to hopefully help it dry faster and not affect the page so much. Using Quentin Blake's illustrations as a guide, I tried to use the watercolor as a simple shading tool, trying to provide some subtle shadows and highlights. I am really pleased with how this portion of the flipbook came out. I like his exaggerated expression, I think I captured that well, and I think overall just the framing of this shot is so fun. It was always a favorite of mine in the movie anyway. I'm super happy to have gotten this one. It also was a fun challenge with these backgrounds to try and capture enough detail that it didn't feel empty, but not overwhelm the scene with too many scribbles, because that would be very easy to do. So I think I got a good balance. What do you guys think? Unfortunately, the rubbing alcohol interacted with the ink from the pen that I used. I did not know that was going to be an issue. Probably should have seen that coming, especially the areas with heavy lines, but it's just something I had to deal with. It meant that I can only do one layer of shading. I wasn't going to attempt to go back and do a second one, but it is what it is. I still think it turned out quite nice, all things considered. Like I did with the line work, I actually did one frame of each section just to make sure that I was happy with the way that it was going to look before I continued doing the whole thing. And now I just had to repeat everything for every single frame. This was actually a very fun process. I usually listen to some music or a podcast. Doing this sort of thing always improves my mood, and it's just a nice, calm, peaceful thing to do, especially when you're having a stressful day. And finally, it's time for the last shot of this sequence with Frodo smiling, having a good time at the party. I am very pleased with the way this one came out. I think it's fun and charming. As I went, I had to lay them all out on the table to dry in batches of 10 or so. They didn't take too long since I was using the isopropyl alcohol, but overall this was still many hours of work. Totally worth it. One last little thing that I wanted to do was to put a little Easter egg in there. I noticed that one of the hobbits in the background looked enough like me that I decided to insert myself on the first frame of this shot in the sequence. I drew a sun on the t-shirt. That's a reference to one of my favorite t-shirts that I wear that my wife designed for me, and my favorite hat that I wear, which also is a hat that my wife made me. I did notice that he looked a little unhappy though, so I gave him a little smile, just so that I'm not standing in the background scowling at Bilbo's party. With myself now unofficially in Lord of the Rings, that was the last thing, and here's the final result. And here is the scanned version.
Prophets?
The hilarious sound effects in that clip were made by my brother Josiah Austin, who also did all the music in this video. Go check out his channel for some amazing music. With the flipbook done and signed and clipped together, I packaged it all up and took it to the post office to send it off. I cannot wait to see it in place amongst all of the other clips. After getting this one sent off, I decided to take another clip, and with the help of my other amazing brother Elijah Austin, we got this clip done. He is a bit of a goofball. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe both on this channel and Animation's channel and on my channel. Make sure and stay tuned so you don't miss any updates on the release of this project. It's gonna be so cool. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget, you are awesome. Bye.